Hello, today we will talk about the role of bacteria in nature and in human life. Uh, why are they? What are they for? And why do we need them? First of all, the most important role of bacteria is decay and putrefaction. Those are not the most pleasant things to look at, to smell. They are uneatable, but they need to be. Why? Because there is such thing like organic substances. It is very important for every living being on Earth. We cannot make organic substances. We consist out of them. We consist of them, but we cannot make them. Uh, Only plants and some bacteria can do that. And we take plants and eat them to get these substances. But plants also need some substances that they cannot do themselves, uh, like sulfur or nitrogen. And the bacteria of decay and putrefaction make those wastes, corpses of dead animals, um, remains of dead plants, and other things. They make out of them something useful. They make these substances for plants to eat, to absorb. What else do they do? There is such an element as nitrogen. There's a lot of nitrogen even in the air. In the air that we breathe, there is about 70% of nitrogen. This element is very important for living beings. But we cannot just take this nitrogen out of thin air. No, we cannot do that. In the air, nitrogen uh, is clear. It's just nitrogen and nothing else. No, the nitrogen needs to be um, in organic form so that we living beings can take it inside of ourselves and use it as we need. But who can make nitrogen from the air uh, something useful? Only some bacteria can do that. Those bacteria live in the soil. They take nitrogen from the air and make from it organic substances with nitrogen. Some of them just are in the soil, but some make what we call symbiosis. Symbiosis is a relationship between two species. Those are useful and helpful for every participant in these relationships. Some nitrogen-fixing bacteria make a symbiosis with leguminous plants, like beans, for example. And they live in their roots in such little things. Those are called nodules. That's why we call them nodular bacteria. The nodular bacteria take nitrogen from the air and give it to the plant. And the plant gives them some sugar and other things. Those are useful for the bacteria. It's all okay. It's nice, it's good, but what key can we humans get from bacteria? Is there any use for us for economy? Well, of course there is. We can make many good, delicious things with bacteria. with lactic acid bacteria exactly. They are used in food industry. With them, we can do things like kefir, cheese, curd, and sour cream. Almost everything sour has some lactic acid bacteria in it. For example, sour cabbage. And things like silage. Silage is a food for cattle. It is very helpful, it is very good for them. Well, you can imagine that we can sow grass for cattle as well as we can sow cabbage for humans. And silage is such a sour grass. But not every kind of bacteria is so useful or helpful. No, some of them may cause problems, great problems, and they are called disease-causing bacteria. Really, there is a lot of bacteria in our world. They live even inside us and on our skin, and we must not be afraid of them. It's okay. We just live with them, they live with us, and we do not harm each other. But some bacteria do harm, not only humans, no, also animals and plants and even other bacteria. They are just not good at relationship. When there is a great amount of people infected with the same disease, it is called epidemic. And if there is even a great amount of people in many countries who are infected with the same disease, it is called pandemic. It was very it happened very often in the past, but now it also happens. There was such a great pandemic of plague in the Middle Ages. It was even called Black Death because of how many people died. But why may it happen? How can bacteria, those little microscopic things, cause such a trouble? Well, it's not only work of bacteria. No, we humans can sometimes help them in their evil deeds. There is such a thing as unsanitary conditions. Unsanitary conditions are very good for bacteria to infect many people at once. What it is? It is the case when many people live in a small area, and so they have many contacts with each other and they can infect each other quickly. It's very good for bacteria. There is such thing as hygiene, and hygiene is good. Always remember to wash your hands. But people in the past were not so conscious. And bacteria took advantage of them. But now we understand how to cope with these things. Now we understand that we must drink clear water, and there is such a thing like waterworks. We understand that we shouldn't eat decayed food, only fresh food is eatable. And we understand how to preserve food from decay. decay is a good thing only when you don't eat the decayed things. Remember that. As I said, not only humans suffer from diseases, but also plants. Look at those poor things. It's very unpleasant to watch at. So, thank you for your attention. I hope you got something useful from the lesson. I'd like to see you soon.